In the upcoming Path of Exile Ultimatum expansion, Grinding Gear Games will be introducing a handful of new blood-themed skills. Likely the most game-changing of these skills is Petrified Blood, a buff that reserves mana and helps to enable a new type of low-life build. It's build-defining enough that I'm surprised they designed it as a skill gem and not a keystone on the passive skill tree. I've seen many posts on Reddit asking for clarification on exactly how Petrified Blood works, so I thought I'd make a quick video breaking it down. This is my first attempt at making content like this, so I apologize for the quality of my microphone. For anyone who doesn't know, a low-life build is one that intentionally remains below a certain percentage of its maximum life. This allows the character to take advantage of conditional modifiers that only apply while on low life, the most notable of which is granted by the Pain Attunement keystone. The traditional method of achieving perpetual low-life status is reserving a significant chunk of one's maximum life, using Energy Shield as HP instead, and protecting life from chaos damage by using Shavron's Wrappings, crappy off-brand Shavron's Wrappings, or more recently the Ivory Tower. In patch 3.14, the devs are trying to enable a new type of low-life build that doesn't necessarily use Energy Shield, instead actually using the remaining life as one's primary HP buffer. To accomplish this, they're doing two things: changing the low life threshold and adding Petrified Blood. Historically, to be on low life, one had to be below 35% of one's maximum life. This threshold is being changed in patch 3.14 to 50% of maximum life. 50 is 43% more than 35, so this means potentially 43% more HP available to life-based low-life builds. However, that change alone isn't likely to persuade many people to cut their HP in half, so they decided to add Petrified Blood. Petrified Blood makes it so that your life cannot be recovered above 50% of maximum life except through flasks. It also makes it so that when hit, some of the life loss below the low life threshold is delayed, being spread out over 4 seconds instead of causing entirely instant life loss. Petrified Blood applies only to incoming damage from hits and does not interact with damage over time. In order to understand Petrified Blood, it's important to make a distinction between taking damage and losing life. In general, taking damage causes life loss, but these are two separate events in the game's calculations. Life loss can occur without damage being taken. For example, spending life through blood magic and sacrificing life for Dark Pact both cause life loss without dealing damage. Previously, there was no way to be hit by damage without all of that damage causing instant life loss. Petrified Blood changes that by splitting life loss from damage taken from hits into instant life loss and gradual life loss. Now for some concrete examples. Let's say you're playing another Rat's Nest Mathel build and have 2000 maximum life. You then enable a level 1 Petrified Blood and are now effectively capped at 1000 maximum life unless you use flasks to recover. In any other scenario, if you took 500 damage from a hit, you would instantly lose 500 life. With a level 1 Petrified Blood, you would still immediately take 500 damage. However, as a result of that 500 damage taken, you would only lose 300 life instantly, with the remaining 200 life lost steadily over 4 seconds. This means that you can now take damage that equals or exceeds your current HP and still live, provided that the hit doesn't exceed your HP by enough to instantly kill you anyway, and also provided that you have the means to offset the gradual life loss that follows. The largest hit that you could tank in this scenario is one dealing 1665 damage, since that would cause 999 life loss instantly and 666 life loss over 4 seconds. That's still less than the original 2000 damage that you could tank without Petrified Blood, but it's likely that Petrified Blood's 40% will scale up with gem level, hopefully to 59% at level 20. If the final value ends up being higher than 50%, then Petrified Blood can actually make you more resilient to one-shots than if you had full life, provided you have enough recovery to outlast the subsequent life loss. Remember that the life loss delay mechanic applies only to the bottom half of your life pool. For example, let's say you use flasks to recover up to a full 2000 life. If you then take a hit dealing 1500 damage, then 1000 of that damage would apply to the top half of your life pool, and the remaining 500 would apply to the bottom half. The 1000 damage dealt to the top half causes instant life loss, removing 1000 life instantly. The life loss from the remaining 500 damage is split 60-40, causing 300 life loss instantly and 200 life loss over the next 4 seconds. Altogether, from the 1500 damage taken, you lose 1300 life instantly and 200 over 4 seconds. It's important to note that damage is always taken instantly upon being hit. Damage taken is never delayed, only the resulting life loss is delayed. You cannot directly alter either portion of the life loss from Petrified Blood. You can only indirectly alter it by changing how much damage you take from hits. This is important for understanding how defenses interact with Petrified Blood. The 200 life loss that we're looking at right now is from damage that has already been taken. You can out-recover it, but you can't stop it. Nothing, not even touching a divine shrine, can prevent that life from being lost, except maybe a friendly allies cannot die aura. Let's go back to our example where you're at 1000 out of 2000 life. Let's say you take a hit that would ordinarily deal 500 damage, but now you have Fortify, which makes you take 20% less damage from hits. The hit now only deals 400 damage, causing 240 life loss instantly, and 160 life loss over 4 seconds. All defensive mechanics in the game that alter the damage taken from a hit will function in the same way, because the life loss split occurs after all damage calculations are done. There are some defensive mechanics in the game that aren't strictly percentage-based, whose usefulness varies according to the size of the incoming hit. The most notable of these is armour, which ordinarily only works against physical damage, and whose calculation makes it behave somewhat like a flat damage reduction. In our example, when taking 500 physical damage with Petrified Blood, armor's physical damage reduction would be calculated from the full 500 physical damage, and not from the 300 life loss that occurs as a result. Some defensive layers don't alter the damage dealt by a hit, but instead redirect the damage to a different pool of HP. The most notable of these is Energy Shield, which by default takes all non-chaos damage before life. Another example is Mind Over Matter, which redirects some damage taken to mana before life. Other examples of similar mechanics include most guard skills, all Aegis skills, Frost Shield, and the Jinxed Juju. Like other defensive mechanics, all of these only apply to the taking damage step in damage calculations. To determine how they interact with Petrified Blood, you first figure out how much damage goes to your life and how much goes to other HP pools. Any damage dealt specifically to the lower half of your life pool is split by Petrified Blood, and all other damage applies loss of HP instantly. Let's use Mind Over Matter as a case study. 2000 maximum life, 1000 current life, and 1000 mana. Mind Over Matter redirects 30% of damage taken from life to mana. If you take a 1000 damage hit, 700 of that damage will be dealt to life, and 300 will be dealt to mana. If you don't have Petrified Blood, you will lose 700 life and 300 mana instantly. If you do have Petrified Blood, the 700 life loss will be split 60-40, so that you lose 420 life instantly and 280 life over 4 seconds. The 300 mana will still be lost instantly because Petrified Blood does not interact with mana loss. Petrified Blood interacts with other damage redirection mechanics in exactly the same way, where only damage dealt to the lower half of life benefits from the life loss delay. I'd originally intended to include more subjective stuff in this video, such as possible build ideas, synergies, and my overall evaluation of Petrified Blood's strengths and weaknesses. However, it's gotten long enough, and I'm not sure if any of you came here for that stuff anyway. If that's something you'd be interested in, I may consider it once the official level 20 skill gem info is posted by the devs. Some of my conclusions are highly sensitive to the gem level scaling, which is still a few days away from being revealed. We also don't know what labyrinth enchantments are available for Petrified Blood, or what its alternate quality bonuses will be. Please let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in any follow-up content, or if you think there's a need for more mechanics explanation videos like this. Thanks for watching!